9mm.
Yeah.
So I need to switch my scene so you guys can see this. Get to left monitor here, and then I'm going to change this to this here. So, yeah, right. I spent way more hours than I even want to admit to setting this up with the touch of a button. I'm now a weatherman with the new microphone coming off my GoPro, 4K visuals. You can see here in Fort Worth, Texas, where it is whatever this still frame photo is from, I don't know. I pulled this off the internet hours ago. I have no idea what this is. I have wall-to-wall 4K coverage of my studio. I'm so stoked about this. Let me get my microphone out of the shot here.
That's incredible.
But it works. I'm super ready to start doing offer review for Marvel Strike Force.
Oh yeah, he is.
Which of course I'm not going to be doing that, obviously.
No.
I always wanted that. I was always so jealous of Mobile Gamer's setup that he had that. And so I finally made it happen. And
that's a GoPro that you're using?
I'm using a GoPro 10 Black on there, and it's super fantastic.
What'd that cost you?
The GoPro I had literally laying around. I know I'm a piece of shit. I have really expensive gear that I don't even use. It's bad.
Must be nice.
Yeah. So yeah, Dan gets his motion tracking camera, and I was like, I want that. Of course, I have no need for it. I'm not even walking around the studio.
I don't have a need for it. I didn't get up and move as much as I thought I was going to when I got that thing. I was like, this would be so cool. Use it once a year for the anniversary.
Yeah, and I want the teleprompter thing from Elgato too, and I don't have that yet, but those are not going to happen. Yeah, my chair is invisible, T-Dats, because I got a green chair so that I could make my chair invisible or somewhat invisible anyway. So
it's nice.
So yeah, I did that. I broke my laptop. I broke the camera holder for one of my other cameras, the tripod. I broke that. Used ChatGPT, took my laptop apart and fixed the screen. I was really proud of myself because I'm a troglodyte and I was able to fix it. So that was cool. And then the rest of the time, I've just been working and working and working. What have you guys been up to while I've been away?
Not a lot. Yeah, Tuesday I went for some tacos at Antojos. You said you were eating tacos this week. I was eating tacos live on stream, and we gorged on 4 different delectable tacos. And then I finished the night with some churros. It was a lot, but it was well worth it. Aside from that, not too much. Just chilling at home with a sick strong boy for the most. He's been sick for like a week just at home, and then it's been snow days as well, so school's been canceled a couple days. He hasn't been going to school, and so I'm just kind of being a dad.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, how about you? What you been up to?
So this is my long week, or my late week, as it were. So I am the late person at work, which is always just a tiny bit stressful. It's getting better. Obviously, the longer I'm there, the more used to everything that I am. I haven't been. So I've been playing some of the demos from Next Fest. There've been some new Metroidvanias coming out, and whatnot. So I've been clicking on videos for that, playing the demos, then doing little reviews of the demos and whatnot. Mortal Kombat just came out with their second trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, so I did a review of that.
I watched that.
Nice. Nothing crazy though. I was actually I got home a little while ago, and I just spent some time just like hanging out with my kids. My youngest is still awake, which is a little weird, but so be it. Just because it feels like I just haven't really seen them like all week, right? Like it just feels like it's been so long. So apologize for being a little bit later, but it felt needed. And was nice,
that's okay. That's okay. I was worried I was going to be the late one, and so you made me look good. I appreciate it.
Hey, anytime I can make you look good, buddy.
I set a pretty low bar too. It's hard.
I'll be honest. I watched the that trailer reaction you did, which was a great video, by the way.
Thank you.
But I kind of enjoyed the first trailer better than the second one. Like the second one shows a lot of characters and a lot of stuff, but the first one was just like a little more tantalizing. Ooh, what's gonna happen? This looks fun.
I'll agree with that. And one of the things I thought of while I was watching the trailer, but then I forgot to go back until literally just now when you mentioned it, is the music is a lot more, not somber, but just toned down for most of it. Like it just feels less high energy.
Yeah.
Until that like last 4 seconds, Mortal Kombat, and you're like, there it is. But like, it's really toned down for the first 2 minutes of the trailer.
In the video that you did, you were like, wait, the music sounds a little, what's going on with the music? And then it cuts in, you're like, okay, there it is. Like the timing of it was super funny.
Well, that's why it's fun to do the live trailer reaction. Like somebody, Skinny Matthew, messaged that link to me yesterday. I didn't know that it was even out, and he's like, "Oh, you can watch this?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Well, and then he sent me, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing it now. Like, I'll do it later. I can actually record it and whatnot."
Right.
But yeah, it was good. I think it looks good. The movie itself, I'm legitimately curious. I've only seen the first one once, and I remember liking it, but also feeling like the potential was higher than what we actually got. So I'm kind of hoping they take that ball and run with it for the second one. Like, I'm not expecting great things, but I'd be pretty happy with that franchise with good things.
Than just an IP cash out, you know? And
exactly.
We've had a lot of that with the Mortal Kombat franchise. The last one, they did a decent job, but you're right. I wanted a little bit more than what they gave us.
Historically, I really like Carl Urban and the projects that he chooses. So the fact that he's in on this one does kind of give me a little bit of hope. And like all the characters, all the scenery, everything, like whether it's CGI or whatnot, it looks right. You know what I mean? Like it looks super alien and like not like otherworldly, and like the whole thing takes place in what, Netherrealm or something like that, or other world, or where, I don't know. I'm not like the biggest Mortal Kombat guy, but I did like them growing up. I'm just gonna grab my water. I'll be right back.
Well, they've just added so much content with, you know, the 20-some chapters of Mortal Kombat that they've had. I got this thing from T-Dats. He says, "Please, for nostalgia, run 7. Click this link here." I don't know what this is.
I wonder if that's the X-Men thing. I can't hear you anymore. Can you hear him? I can't hear anything.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
He's playing a video on his stream.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's the Run 7 intro.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I forgot I did that. Holy shit.
Apparently I need to go watch Run 7 stream now.
Okay, yeah, it's the clip of so it's the Run 7 Volume 3 intro where I do like a weird portion of a Michael Jackson dance, and it's a little ridiculous. And then it goes into the why we enjoy streaming, and it just the one of the videos I made, it was like the 7-minute one with all the different streamers and stuff.
Quality entertainment.
Yeah, those were the days, man, when I had time to make stupid videos out of nothing. The ideas are still here, guys. I just don't have the time.
Okay, so here's an interesting little nothing. And I guess it's more aimed at Brian, but I'm going to aim it at both of you.
Okay. Brian.
Cancel. What the heck? Brian is now a ghost. I don't know what happened to him.
I'm here. Just turn on the
I was listening to a podcast, and they had a content creator on, and they asked him, what is your favorite video of yours that you've made? Like, what is the one piece of content you've made that you are the proudest of or happiest with, or whatever? And I was like, that's really interesting. I don't have an answer for myself off the top of my head. I'd have to think about it, but I wanted to just present that to you guys. Like, do you have a video that just jumps out at you? Be like, oh, it's gotta be that one. I'm really happy with how that came together. I have a guess for Brian. I'm not sure that
honestly, it was it would either be one of the Marvel Strike Force tournaments. I really loved hosting those with other people. Those came out way better than I thought they would. And it was just a live, us hanging out, watching other people play Marvel Strike Force on like 8 different screens. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun, and a lot of people showed up to those, and it just felt good. Yep. So I liked that. And I also liked the video that T-Dats just linked right there, why we play. And that was a great video to just, kind of give a shout out to all my favorite content creators that I was watching at the time. I love being able to point to other people and say, hey, look, they're doing a good job. I like watching them. You should watch them too. And I had a lot of fun making that. That one did get a little bit of a tarnish on it, because after it aired, we were doing one of those tournaments. It was actually the tournament that I announced I was quitting Marvel Strike Force. And while that tournament was going, one of the content creators, I don't want to say who, but one of the content creators whom I did not include in that video, got on Discord and flipped out on me and was very upset that he was not included. How dare I exclude him from it? Keep in mind, he'd been in all of the previous videos I had made, and I had recorded a bit of him, but it wasn't funny, it wasn't good, and it just went to the cutting room floor. It was all it was. Nothing personal. But he flipped out on me during that tournament, and I'm sitting there trying to calm him down, and I'm like, hey, why don't you come in? Just jump in. We're hosting the tournament right now. You can come in and be a part of this. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. It was a mess. But yeah, probably Why We Play is probably one of my favorite videos.
That's fair.
Streamers are a fickle bunch.
Right? Yeah. You know what? They all have their own characters, and that's what makes them so great. And I love a variety, and boy, do I watch a variety of them. What about you, Will? What's your favorite piece of content? You've got a lot of good stuff like the Wolverine things. I love those.
Right.
A lot of your bits are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day when I used to do stuff with my creator friends, like theater friends, we did some fun stuff that I definitely enjoyed. I don't have access to that kind of fun setups anymore, which is fine. So I don't know. I think I would default to just that Wolverine grouping of videos. I think we just had a blast filming them. We did it all like within like 3 weeks or something. So when I get it out for Halloween like 4 years ago or whatever it was. So that's probably recent memory, my highlight. But yeah, you know, I enjoy every little thing. The thing is, I don't really do any creation really. I put together some flimsy shorts here and there, but nothing. Those
are amazing. Don't sell yourself short. The one where you've got the zombie on the other side of the door and you keep trying to get in there, like poke him away, but he gets close. He's closed the door. I love playing that clip on your stream, man. It's such a good one.
Yeah. I've done a lot of stupid shit.
Those are some of the best ones. There were some really like crappy ones that they weren't very well polished, but it was like you and your friends just like running and jumping over stuff.
Oh yeah. Those were like old school things.
Old ones, yeah. You guys look like you were having so much fun, so it really shows through.
Yeah, no, we do have fun. That's nice. The key. And Dan, you have nothing, you say? I hate it all.
I didn't have anything right off the top of my head. Like there wasn't like a definitive, oh my God, that one. There were like little bits that I had like before a news section or whatnot that I was happy with how they turned out. They turned out better than I thought they would, but I wouldn't say like the video itself was like, oh my God, such a good video where I read the chart. But there's a couple like
hi Emma. Sorry, Emma's in chat.
Yeah. Emma bounced from Dan's stream.
It's fair. Emma played one of my games where I had to do a shot earlier, and I'm like, I'm about to drive to work. I'm not taking a shot. I'll do it later. So he's like, how about that shot? And I did it, and he's just like, you can do that shot? I was like, I literally just did. Like, what the hell? Screw this. I'm out. The Wolverine, the Logan release, I had a couple of like running gags throughout that one that I was pretty happy with how they turned out.
Dude, you're hillbilly. You did a hillbilly bit a while ago. That was a lot of fun. That was really good.
That first one turned out pretty well. Yeah,
you had that nailed.
That was fun.
Almost any of your anniversary streams were always really good to watch. They always go off the rails with your makeup and everything. Like you're like 2 hours into it, and you look like you've already done a 12-hour stream.
That's actually what I was thinking. Is like, is it cheating to say the anniversary because it's a 24-hour live stream? But like, I think those are what I'm the most proud of. Not only because of like staying awake and alive and hosting for 24 hours, but also like the
raising funds,
raising money for charity for a good cause.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, chat, if you've never live streamed before, you don't understand what these two guys have been through on a 24-hour stream. They've both done it multiple times. I have never even come close to attempting it. I think the longest stream I ever did was 7+ hours. That was it. It was physically and emotionally exhausting. I did get my chest hair ripped off, Dan. It wasn't that easy.
I've done that on stream too. Amy taking her revenge.
It is grueling, and these guys to do a 24-hour live stream is amazing. Someday I would like to do that. I don't have the chops for it right yet.
No, I think
say that. I don't believe you at all. I think
I can't get an hour together to do a stream right now, but someday.
Dan, I enjoy always all your karaoke stuff, man. It's so funny, and it's something like I can never do. I hate singing because I can't do it, and so I just can't bring myself to do it. Whereas you're just fearless, and it's stupid and hilarious and beautiful all in the same time.
Oh God, that's the clip of me getting my chest hair pulled off? I'm gonna show it on my stream here real fast.
It's a run stream.
Put this down here.
Oh yeah. Is this the failed attempt?
So how did you get the names all over yourself? Shoot, I'm blanking on her name.
Rob.
Oh, that's rough. The failure makes it so much worse.
Yeah, that's the worst part, is that she didn't rip it off. Oh God, that hurt so bad I wanted to cry. And then I had to rip it off myself with my left arm. It was terrible.
What is your wife's online name?
Way too raw for you.
Way too raw. So did she draw the names on for you, or are you actually that good at writing them upside down on your chest? Because she would
come in and help me with that.
Okay.
I would be doing something stupid and she'd just be writing more and more names. We had a windfall that time. I made over $7,000 for charity. I was blown away by the generosity of people in there and how much they hated me and wanted to see me in pain. Shaved off an eyebrow, all kinds of stuff, but it was great.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Yeah, because I did the I'll write on myself. How hard could it be? And then I guess the second name, I'm like, how do people do this? Everybody's got these ridiculous long names with numbers. I'm sitting here trying to write it. I'm like, whatever, it's close.
Yeah.
Look at your penmanship; it's freaking perfect. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Get an assistant. That's how it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
all right. Should we open the curtain on this movie and get into it?
Absolutely, we should. I do want to take half a second though, because Will, you were saying how fearless I am doing the karaoke. Promise you, lots of fear. No worries there. What would the Fox say video made it to my work, which is super exciting. I'm really glad that happened.
Yeah, you're
but
welcome.
Also throwing it right back at you. The karaoke thing is in my basement. That's super easy. I don't know how you do the real life thing. I still have a redemption from Christmas that I'm supposed to go do, and I'm just I'm freaking terrified. I just I don't want it. I don't want it.
When is that happening? I'm looking forward
great question. It was supposed to be in January. It's almost March now. I'm telling myself I'm waiting for warmer weather so I can not have to wear a jacket, but realistically I'm just legitimately shit scared. So it's I don't want it.
It's not that bad, really. Again, it's like you're streaming to yourself. Most people in public just ignore you unless you're going out to actually talk to people. Then it can be totally different. What you actually have to worry about is the people who want to come up and talk to you. That's where the trouble
would honestly be better. At least then I've got content. Talking to myself in public is I don't know what I'm going to do here. But if some random hobo wants to come up and ask me for $1, I'm like, all right, now I got 5 minutes of entertainment. Or some drunken college student. Okay.
I think the hard part for me would be when I'm in my studio, I have these walls, I have the headphones, I'm isolated from all the rest of it. So I can just fall into chat with what they're talking about, what they're doing, have that back and forth conversation, the game I'm playing or whatever. But when you go IRL, you no longer have the headphones. You no longer have the studio around you, a monitor in front of you. You've got this little tiny chat window on your phone to work with.
Yeah.
And the rest is you're out in the open and you feel like a naked feeling. Because I have not done, I've done some live streams, but nothing to the extent of what Will has done. And just the thought of trying to put on what Will does is frightening to me because I can't communicate the way that I communicate on stream in normal everyday life. I am not the way I appear on stream because for some reason I'm able to just remove all my filters and just be me in front of a microphone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way elsewhere.
I agree wholeheartedly. Even things I want to do out of the theater reactions, right? Where I just watched a movie. Let's do 30 seconds or a minute of what I thought of the movie and then throw it to the review that I'm going to do later that I haven't even filmed yet. And just half the time I end up doing it in my car because I'm just I don't want these people seeing me do this. This is weird.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, again, I mean, maybe I take it for granted because, as a theater actor, that live performance thing is more ingrained in me, I guess.
Well, you got some more practice with it.
Yeah, years and years of stupidity in front of people.
All of my stupidity is behind closed doors.
Yeah, that being said, it's very easy to hone in on just that screen when you're even out and about. Like it's not as if you take the plunge, I think you do better than you think you will.
It very well could be, but my goodness, taking that first step.
Yeah,
my fear, I'm so riddled with technical issues just here where I have everything under control and I prep for 30 minutes before I go live. I fear trying to use my cell phone in public and just dropping the signal and being like, well, this is a waste, you know?
I literally fear that every time I do it because Nova Scotia specifically, I've never had worst reception in my life.
Yeah.
And so I have had where, and I try to warn Chad every time being like, hey, if the freaking stream drops, just hit some Fs. I'll try to get it back in the running. But
so legitimate question for you, because this is one of the things that I'm nervous about.
Sure.
What if you have to go to the bathroom? Because I don't want to leave my camera out and I don't want to take my camera in the bathroom.
Dan, how personal do you want your streams to be?
Exactly.
I don't want to forget my stream. I don't want to get arrested from having a camera in a men's bathroom. Just like
that's true too.
You don't know that I'm recording, do you, Bill? No? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I guess I've never experienced that, but I again, like with any performance, if before you hit the stage, you hit the head, and you go from there. That's the only advice I can give you, I guess.
Gotcha. All right. We are 50 minutes late. We want to jump into this thing?
Yeah, Mrs. Hillary thought it was over already. That's
I saw that. She's like, what are the scores? We're like, we haven't told each other yet.
Yeah.
So when we start this thing, guys, just to warn you, you're going to know a pretty good idea of my score right from the jump.
Oh, God. I knew your score the second we started the watch party.
Okay. Okay, good.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, you know what? Man. When you love a movie, it shines through, okay?
That's right. When you love a movie, it shines through.
I have... Okay. Open the curtains and throw to Will. Brian, do you have an opening like we talked about a week or two ago?
So I got confused the last time because I was waiting for it and I was going to be like, but Dan, you missed the best part. Tell them about the ratings at the end of the film or whatever, or at the end of the video to try and hook people to the end. And then we didn't really do it that way, or I don't know.
I think last week was the week you were like, oh, give me a week to think about it. So I didn't think that I was throwing to you for that reason. But anyways.
Oh. So, yeah, I mean, I could do something live off the cuff right now if we want, because you just want me to try and plug the ratings at the end so that people hang around for the video, right? That's what we talked about?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I guess it's potentially less important on the Patreon one, but...
Yeah, maybe it's all the better time to just throw it.
Wing it, yeah. If it goes poorly, who cares?
Do we want to bring the board up? Is that a possibility? So that Run could be like, here's our board. At the end, we'll update. These are some of the movies we've hit.
I've got the actual board.
Okay.
As opposed to the Patreon pick one, but I mean that's probably more interesting, anyways. So
more
in line with what the show actually is.
Because I think it's kind of enticing to be able to be like, oh, if I'm a new viewer, being like, oh shit, they've covered Jurassic Park. Oh, Predator's on there. Okay, maybe I'll go back and watch some of their videos, right?
Okay.
I don't know. Up to you guys. I'm just throwing shit out.
Also, Dan, for some reason, our white titles are super fine print on my screen. I don't know if it's the same for you.
Oh shit, they are on mine as well.
Yeah. It says Dan and then some boilerplate underneath it that I cannot read.
I didn't change or do anything. I don't know if that's a restream issue or...
Oh, yeah. I'm used to that happening to me almost every time I go live. I'm like, something updated? Well, then guaranteed something isn't going to work right.
I mean, can we just get rid of them at this point?
Yeah, you can get rid of them. I'm going to clip on this last clip that T-Dats wants me to take a look at and see what this is all
Hillary,
about.
Just send one of us a DM about that so we don't forget.
That's about doing the Patreon pick middle of the month?
Oh, my good Lord.
Or is that something different?
Oh, God.
Classic purple sticky, yo. Ridiculous.
What purple sticky?
God, I miss purple sticky. I miss purple sticky.
He's in the suit. He's suited up.
Okay, I can't get rid of your whites. I got rid of the white under my name, so I'm just Dan. I don't know if you guys want to.
Oh, we could probably turn ours off. Yeah. We could probably do that.
Because if they're not legible anyways, then why bother? Oh, bye, Will, Brian.
Right.
We didn't need him.
Virtual back profile. Yeah, just take that off, and maybe it'll disappear.
You should be able to do it without leaving.
There, yeah, I got it. At the bottom, go to the settings, and then profile, and just remove the title.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to do that too? I was watching myself.
Yeah,
of course you are.
Sticky. Classic Brian.
What did we say? How do you do that? How do I remove that?
Go to settings, profile, and then just delete what you have there.
And just delete it. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, all right. That's better. Nice.
All right.
Oh, very, 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 very nice, skinny Matthew. Spoiler alert. All right, we're running. We're going with this. We're running it. We're doing it. Let's do it. Romeo plus Juliet, 1996. Our classic star-crossed lovers are thrown into mid-90s culture. Houses shall be divided. Swords shall be shot. And iambic pentameter shall be more accessible to tweens than ever before. I don't know. Y'all know the story of Romeo and Juliet, right?
Heard it once before, yeah.
I feel like you were building to something and then just stopped. I was like, is he going?
Yeah.
No, that's it. Okay, then we're done.
Well, we're done.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our rating, the show where I get together with a couple of my buddies. We take a movie franchise, break it down by movie, give it an overall score, and then throw it back on the board so we can see how it lands compared to the other movie franchises. I'm joined, as always, by Brian and Will. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Will, how are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. So,
and we've been doing this for going on 2 years. We're still awkward at the start.
Well, because it's always the exact same, like, you guys both do your one-word answers. But no, like, because I would normally go into my spiel, but then, like, are you going to...
Oh, Dan.
Yeah, there we go.
Bring up the board and show them the best part of why you should be watching this video all the way to the end. The board, please, Dan, whenever you're ready.
He's gone. He's gone.
Hey, folks, we try new things here once
in a while. It's a professional
sometimes
show.
They work, sometimes they don't.
We like specifically were like, you didn't give me a chance to throw to me. I'm like, all right, what do you fucking? Here's a bone. You're like, no, I'm good. I don't need that bone. Oh, right, a bone. Yeah, I will take that bone. Thanks.
So we rate these movies. We like to work on franchises. Today we're working on what we call the Patreon pick. It's people who are members of our Patreon get to pick what we watch for the last week of each month. So that's a singular movie that isn't part of a franchise. This is our franchise list. These are the movies we've gone over. We do review these. When new movies enter these franchises, we go back to them and add them to their overall ranking. And these are the franchises ranked against franchises. And that's why some of our favorite movies may not make the top of the list because the franchise as a whole is lacking.
But that's actually a great segue that I'm going to steal from you there. Next month for March, we're going to be doing our first ever March Movie Madness, where we each are going to get to choose any movie we want, not part of a franchise, and that will give us the opportunity to talk about maybe one of our favorites, something we're curious about, something we know the other guys have not seen, whatever we decide to go with. Will, I believe you're going up first. Have you decided on which movie you're going to make us watch next week?
I have, and spoiler alert, it's already been announced on a video we did a long time ago, Dan. We did a Flicks That Make You Tick video, and it was the first one I listed. Do you remember what it is? No. But I know you haven't seen it. It is...
Wait.
Rumble... Whoa.
Oh, okay, Rumble in the Bronx. I was going to say, like, yeah. I think I remember your five, because you had, like, Rumble in the Bronx, Mad Max, Bullworth? No.
No, Bowfinger.
No, Bowfinger, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I said... I got 3 of 5. I don't know if I can get the other 2.
That's not bad. Yeah, but I am selecting Rumble in the Bronx, which I assume you haven't seen yet.
I have not.
It is a classic Jackie Chan martial arts comedy. That's what he kind of specializes in. And it was the very first Jackie Chan movie I saw when I was growing up. And so it always has a special place in my heart. Is it the best Jackie Chan movie? Maybe not. But it is perfect in my mind. And so I'm excited to force y'all to watch this. And I also thought what's a genre we haven't even covered in any of our discussions, and that's the martial arts genre. So I'm excited to go there with y'all.
I'm not going to be choosing my pick for this one because I want to choose something a little bit more personal or meaning something to me. But I'm not going to lie. One of the first things that came to mind was a movie called Iron Mask, which I've not seen. But I know it stars Jackie Chan, which is a favorite of yours, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is a favorite of mine. And I'd just be curious to see those two actually interacting with each other. I'm not curious enough to have seen it in the last 7 years since it came out. But, I thought maybe, but I was like, no, I think I want to choose something I actually want to talk about instead of that. I do want to watch that at some point with you. That'd be very fun.
Totally fair. Yes, we can do that for sure. I'm down for a watch party.
Excellent. So the entire month of March, we're going to be choosing our own movies. I guess 3 of the weeks of March, and then the last week of March, we're doing what we do every month, which is the Patreon pick, and we'll see what the head writers have for us in store then. But this month, we're talking about Romeo and Juliet because that's what the head writers decided. This is a movie that came out in 1996, and I remember seeing this in theaters because, quite frankly, my sister wanted to go see it. We were both too young to drive, so my parents had to drive her, and I just wanted a free trip into town so I could go buy a video game, so I tagged along and ended up actually really enjoying this movie back in 1996 and developing a little bit of a crush on a, semi-older Claire Danes at the time. Right. Do you remember your first time watching this one, Brian?
Yes, this was probably how a lot of people my age watched this. We were in high school and the teachers were like, oh, we can get them to watch Shakespeare now. And they wheeled the box-shaped television in on the cart and plugged this movie in. I think it was like in 98 or something when it was on VHS. That kind of dates me. And we watched it as a class in there. And that's it.
What about you, Will? Do you remember your first time seeing this one? Or is this your first time seeing this one?
No, I've seen it once or twice, maybe 3 times, some time ago. 96 on is a long time to remember back. And it didn't make that much of an impact on me back then, just because maybe I'm not the biggest fan of this particular Shakespeare work.
Not this movie, but Romeo and Juliet itself?
Correct.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm with Will on this. This particular version of Romeo and Juliet doesn't do it for me. I have seen many, many versions of this in a real theater, not a movie theater. And I've seen some good ones and bad ones. And this one, of course, translates to modern times with guns and instead of swords and other things like that. And I'm just not a fan of the way it translates, and I'm not a fan of the way they took this.
Interesting.
But I do like the story of Romeo and Juliet, and I've seen some people put it on in ways that were unique and different and did a really good job. And I've seen people do it a very more traditional style and do a very good job. This one just wasn't a good translation for me.
Fair enough. So I guess I'm gonna be alone on this in this land where I actually did enjoy this movie, especially back in 1996. Watching it on the watch party was a little bit different. Specifically, the first 5 minutes or so, the whole gas station scene was so over the top. I was like, oh no, I haven't seen this in 15, 20 years. Do I just not remember how ridiculously over the top this was? And then it feels like it settles down quite a bit after that, or finds its pacing, if you will. I will stand on this hill. I think there are some phenomenal performances in this, and it has maybe one of my favorite soundtracks from at least my teenage years. Just an absolutely incredible soundtrack. I think there's a lot to like here, but I also completely understand how this would not be your favorite version of this. Or Will, you don't even like Romeo and Juliet at all. I just think John Leguizamo and Harold Perrineau. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Mercutio. Yeah. He has been Mercutio for 30 years. Everything I see him in.
So come on, Mercutio is just an awesome character in general, and so. Yes. But in this movie, I do like the performance by what's his name who plays Mercutio. I can't pronounce his name to save my life. He does do a great job as Mercutio in this one too.
It's just one of those things where I've seen him in Lost, I've seen him in The Rookie, I've seen him in other things, and it's always is that Mercutio? Every time. I'm trying so hard to remember his name because he is such a phenomenal actor. He's really good in everything I've seen him in. And yet every time I'm just it's Mercutio. Okay, cool.
It's Mercutio. I mean, it is a standout performance in the movie for sure. So it's definitely a good way to remember him by all means. Yeah. And it's not that I hate this story. I do think Shakespeare is a very talented writer. I mean, or they.
He's got better works than this. This is just a popularized one for some reason. I don't know why this is the one everybody goes to.
I mean, I think there's solid reasons as to why it's as produced as it is. I mean, it's a very universal story of young love and the dangers of such love. And, you know, I think Shakespeare has a way of really writing to the people of the time, and it translates like young love is always young love. It's always going to be, you know, you dive in too deep, you're most likely going to get hurt. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but you're all in. And he has a great way of putting that on the page. And unlike Run, I thought there was a lot of good elements in this from the script and put onto the big screen. It wasn't all perfect, but there was a lot of good elements in this movie as well, from the director, whatever his name is.
Baz Luhrmann.
Luhrmann, yes, Mr. Luhrmann.
I think this story captures the feeling, if not the reality, of young love. Where like when you fall in love right then, like this teenage years, like everything, like all emotions are so heightened, which is why you kind of like gravitate to music from that time period, generally speaking, because when you listened to it, all of your emotions were so much higher than they are as an adult. And so this movie, like it's infatuation. Like they fall in love, get married within 24 hours, all this, like kill themselves because they can't be with the other person. And it's just that like accentuation of what it feels like to be in love as a young person, or to be in lust as a young person. Because watching this as an adult, you're kind of like, well, you're stupid. Like, you just met her. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah. It is like that, but you can also recall the time when you were like that, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. And that's why it's universal, is because almost everybody goes through this part of their life. You know, their first love, their first couple of instances it's like this. You feel like that infatuation, whether it's ends up being a long-lasting relationship, whether this would have been a long-lasting relationship, who knows? They didn't really know anything about each other, except for that they liked the look of each other. And who doesn't like a little wet-haired Leo? Am I right?
Speaking of Leo, they really leaned into the heartthrob era of Leonardo DiCaprio, which I didn't enjoy. That just wasn't for me. I think maybe young women at the time would absolutely flock to this movie to see that look of him. Yeah, they did. He was, you know, always walking around with a cigarette, kind of that James Dean kind of appealed to him. And I love James Dean and everything, but it was a little bit much for me, especially being a fan of Leo's. This just wasn't one of his best works for me to watch. And it just felt like they were relying a lot on his sex appeal at that time, that they really kind of leaned into it a little too hard for my tastes. I've never felt Romeo was quite that much of a heartthrob in the stories, and they really kind of push that.
Well, in fairness, she falls for him just as hard as he falls for her. Like, he's not chasing her per se. They both just kind of lock eyes from across the room and are like, oh. Yeah. So he has to be pretty good looking.
Right.
Good enough looking.
Good enough.
They just have like these long shots of him sitting on the beach writing in his journal with a cigarette and all that, you know, that cool. I'm an outsider, I'm a loner. His parents pull up to see him and he stands up and he's like, I'm too cool for you, and walks away from his parents and just kind of stuff like that. That I'm like, you whiny little bitch, go get a ride home. You know?
Are you going to attend your father's house tonight?
Yeah.
I'll push back on that a little bit, just in how I portrayed this movie. I feel like this movie isn't your typical acting movie. This is like a play production on film. I mean, Dan mentioned it from the top. The movie jumps in. It's bigger than life, and everybody's over the top. And that's theater. They're theater acting, right? Because in theater, live theater, you have to project out to, like, you know, upward of 600 people in a room, and you have to play it big so people can see it. And I feel like that was their directive in this movie, was to play it as a theater production. And I think all the characters amped up in all those ways throughout the movie. And so, yeah, that means Romeo has to be even hotter, even more of the love interest that, you know, everything has to be amped up. The costume is amped up. The set designs are amped up. Everything in this movie is amped up, and it comes across as a stage play, in my mind.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem I have with it, is that if you're going to bring it to film, you can use the subtleties of film, and they don't. And
they do,
especially in the middle version. And when they're talking with a lot of the parents, there's some scenes in there where they kind of bring it down and get in close. Claire Danes has a lot of scenes and where she does really well in and that I like those scenes. But especially the big scene opening up, it is a theatrical experience at this gas station, and it's a jarring thing to see on the silver screen a theater play. It didn't work for me. It wasn't what I was looking for. That's my opinion, though. That's not wrong. Sure. I'm not saying they did it wrong. It's just not the way I wanted this to go about.
I feel like there's been a couple movies, specifically musicals, where they will start off louder than the rest of the movie. Is almost like a testing you, like a are you in or are you out kind of way. Another one that comes to mind is La La Land, like that opening scene on the LA highway.
Yeah,
just feels kind of out of place compared to the rest of the movie.
You know what? That scene made me turn that movie off. Exactly. And then I found out later it settles down a bit. Now, I'm not big on musicals in the first place, so I wasn't in for it from the start. But you're right. You're absolutely right. It's a great example.
Except for Sound of Music, which you loved. That said,
that's true.
I think that's like a lot of action movies, though, too, right? You open with a big action scene, get the audience invested, and then go from there, right?
I think a lot of action movies, though, will start off with action, but build to something bigger down the road. Whereas I feel like it starts off with one of the loudest pieces of the movie, and then it kind of finds its way after that.
At least it didn't use like the cheesiest narrative hook ever, which is to show the ending of the film and then go, let me back up and start from the beginning. And then they start the movie. I hate when they do that. It's such a cheesy way.
They do that with the TV?
They actually absolutely do that.
The TV zooming in where they're like...
That's true. That's true. The tale of Juliet and her Romeo. Yeah, you're right. They actually do that. I forget about the TV phase-in parts at the end. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Now, that said, again, they actually stuck pretty close to the script of Romeo and Juliet, which after this movie, I think this movie kind of jump-started a lot of other Shakespeare adaptations into modern times. She's the Man, all those things. 10 Things I Hate About You.
10 Things I Hate About You is one I was going to go with.
Yeah, for sure, right? Like, I think this movie probably allowed for those to happen, but those movies, unlike this, made it an adaptation, didn't speak the language, went a very different way with it, which is fine.
Which do you prefer?
I think it was brave to stick to the text. And again, I think it leans into my thought process of he wanted to modernize a theatrical production of Shakespeare. Let's jump into Shakespeare's boots right now. If Shakespeare was alive today and wanted to put on Romeo and Juliet, why wouldn't he film it? They were putting it on in modern day. Why wouldn't they film it and put it on the big screen in a modern day setting? So I think that's an interesting way to look at it. And I think that's kind of where they started at the jumping off point. And it was an interesting take.
And I love the things that they did to adapt this, like the dagger 9mm behind me. They had the sword and the sword 40 and sword 45 caliber weapons. I loved that. Not only do these guns just look outrageously cool, I don't know why it's got a hollow and whatever. They look amazing. They're really cool. And I thought that was a really cool way to have a sword fight in the film. I like that. There were a couple of other twists, but for the most part, I didn't get to see them like saddle up their horse and jump into a car instead. I mean, they did jump into cars and stuff, but it wasn't like as pronounced. So there were some things that like the gun really stuck out where other things were kind of subtle and you don't even really notice them until you watch it a couple of times and go, oh yeah, they had to modernize this by doing that. So interesting little twists that they put into it. I would have liked to see a few more things done to really make it pop like they did with the guns.
I do kind of like that they kept the language as close as possible. I'm not super familiar with the actual language of Romeo and Juliet. I couldn't tell you if they changed it or where they changed it. But by naming the guns, swords, rapier, dagger, they're allowed to keep some of that language in the same way. I don't think they ever mentioned like get in my car versus ride your horse kind of a thing.
Right.
Like, I think
there's no mention of horse, I don't believe anyway. So
sure. But I do like even the bite your thumb. Like, do you bite your thumb at us, sir? Like, it would have been so easy to change that to like him giving him the finger or something, which would have probably resonated more with audiences where they're like, what is biting your thumb even? I didn't know what biting your thumb meant to somebody. I don't 100% know what it means now. I just know that it's obviously an insult. But that line has been in my head for 30 years.
Yeah.
That, like, do you bite your thumb at us, sir? I do bite my thumb.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of giving the finger, of course.
Yeah, for sure. But it was just like, I don't.
And maybe at the time when you first watch it, you're like, wait, wow, I've never heard that before.
What is that?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's an interesting, and again, being set in modern times and the actors going over the top with their performances, I think it helped those viewers who had never heard the iambic pentameter before really be able to understand the story, because they're like giving you time to catch up. And like when Juliet is like, calling out Romeo for just wanting to sleep together, she pauses and looks at him being like, what are you saying to me right now? And he obviously backtracks and says, no, I want you to, in return, say you love me. And so all those things played really well. Whereas if you played it more subdued, I think that language is easier to get lost if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah. What satisfaction
there's a lot
tonight?
There's a lot of times when I had no freaking clue what they were saying, but you could see what they meant on the screen. And so that's fine. And that's how I am when I go to a lot of Shakespearean era plays. I don't really know what this dialogue means, but I get the gist of it by the actors playing it out. And so that's okay. And that's what this movie did for me too. A lot of times I'm just watching the body language to get a feel for it. Of course, I know the play. Like I said, I've seen it many, many times. And there were some great sequences. Like I mentioned, Claire Danes had some good ones. I loved the, is it the nurse or the maid? That's traveling the nurse. She's traveling back and forth, passing messages. She's fantastic. I do think that Harold Perrineau and John Leguizamo absolutely stole the show in this movie. I think they take the cake for their portrayal of Tybalt and Mercutio. That was phenomenal. And I also liked the Paul Sorvino, the parents, Romeo's father and Romeo's mother, and Juliet's mother and Juliet's father, which they are listed in the credits as. They did really well too. My biggest problem with the acting in this was probably Leonardo DiCaprio. I thought this is one of his weakest movies, personally. I didn't like his portrayal, and I just felt like at times I felt like he was reading lines from Shakespeare instead of being that actor. Yeah. So that really drew me away from this.
I don't know that I had that much of a problem with Leonardo DiCaprio, but I just looked it up actually. He was a known entity at this point. Like I knew who Leonardo DiCaprio was going into this movie, but this is probably the first movie I actually saw him in. Like I looked at some of his credentials before this movie came out, and I hadn't seen them at that time. Some of them I still haven't seen, and that's kind of on me.
This was after Gilbert Grape, right?
This is after Gilbert Grape, and it's after Basketball Diaries.
Okay.
And it's before The Beach. So this is my first introduction to him, and I don't think that he's doing a bad job by any stretch. I think he is outperformed by the louder characters of Tybalt. Even Father Lawrence's performance, Pete Postlethwaite, I liked quite a bit, and obviously like 14-year-old Dan had the biggest crush on Claire Danes at the time. So it wasn't that I thought he was poor. It's just that there were such larger personalities on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm also going to jump on something Brian said. You said you liked the Capulets and the Montague family members. This is the first production, I'm going to call it, where I've seen Tybalt and Lady Capulet, Juliet's mom, they totally are having an affair in this movie. And I've never seen that portrayed in any other version of the play. And I thought they kind of slid that in really nicely. And it really played on why Lady Capulet was so traumatized by Tybalt's death. And that's right in the script, right? And so I thought they played that off really well with like showing them kiss during the costume party, and then all these little side altercations that they have during the film. It was an interesting take.
Mm-hmm. I will say, as much as we're talking about the cast, I guess I just didn't know who Paul Rudd was at the time, but it was a massive surprise to watch this time and be like, oh, yeah, okay.
I forgot he was in this too, and he shows up, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Pretty small character, obviously, but...
Sure. It was the right role for him, though. I mean, that's the kind of character he plays, that guy who doesn't understand what's going on around him. So
yeah.
And if he fit right into it. But again, small role, so there wasn't much to go on there, but I was glad to see him in it.
For sure. They're not wrong, though. He is kind of a vampire. Like the seeing him and how different he looks now versus seeing Leo and how different Leo looks now, you're just like, oh, you haven't really aged that much. That's interesting.
Yes, the same Paul Rudd is Clueless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else there is to... I mean, the thing is, like, if you like Shakespeare, you're probably going to be okay with this movie as long as you can get behind the modernization. If you're like a diehard, like, oh, Shakespeare has to be in its time and blah, 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 then you're not going to like a lot of Shakespeare's remakes along the way. Mm-hmm. But, I don't think they did a bad job. And I think the director also, like, the cinematography and editing just, like, amps this up as well, right? There's, like, a lot of quick cuts to keep the pacing up. They actually speed up the film in a lot of different scenes in different ways.
Oh, okay, they do. All right. I just thought something else was going on with me. But they are. Okay, so... Right, I was like, is this like what's going on here? Okay, they do speed it up a bit. All right.
Lots of times throughout the film. And I think it makes it for like a 2-hour movie. And I think most Romeo and Juliet play productions I've seen are at least 2.5. So I'm like, I'll take it.
Now, a lot of the productions usually clip out or cut out most of the sex scene. I want to say it's like Act 4 or something when you go see it in theaters. I can't remember. It's been a while. But a lot of them will just forego the whole sex scene where they're kind of talking in bed and stuff. This one has a bit of that. They also transplant a lot of it to them in the swimming pool. Some of the dialogue is moved over to there. And I thought that was fine. I thought the pacing of this movie was pretty good, being you're sticking so closely to the script. It was nice to see it played out pretty well in that department. I just think that they could have altered it differently and made it more fun, that they could have taken a little bit more liberties in some areas and still stuck with the script. And for me, I was just kind of bored with the film a lot of the time. Maybe because I've seen the story so many times and I've seen so many other versions that I just liked better.
Yeah, that's totally legit. If you have something in your mind that you're holding to a high standard.
And again, I'm not opposed to modernizing it. I think that's fun. I was just like, you hit hard on things that I did like and missed other opportunities that I wish you would have gone after. And I just felt wanting. I felt wanting at the end of this film.
Wow.
Fair enough. I don't agree, but I'm also trying to think this might have been the first time. This not only might have been my introduction to Leonardo DiCaprio, this might have been my introduction to Romeo and Juliet. So I didn't have anything to compare it to at the time that I saw it. I definitely don't think bored was the feeling I was thinking. Even this time watching it, now granted, it's been a while since I'd seen it. It's not like I watch this every couple of years. I just didn't dislike it. Now, granted, a huge chunk of that was nostalgia. There's a lot of lines in this movie that I remember, not even necessarily as Shakespeare, but like this specific portrayal. You've got, I can't remember which Romeo or Montague or Capulet, but one of the parents is like, "Come, madam, let's away," which is something I say to my wife all the time. You've got the "bite your thumb at us." You've got the John Leguizamo's like peace speech. Yeah. Which is something like, I don't say it out loud, but something I think of whenever somebody's like talking about that. It's like, peace. I hate the word. Like, it just, the performance is just stuck with me from this one more so than any other performance of this I've seen. Now, I've also not seen this on stage very often. I think maybe once that I can think of. So I just don't have as much to compare it to, I guess. But this one, I saw at a younger age. A lot of it did stick with me. I loved the soundtrack for most of my teenage years. And actually, I listened to the soundtrack again this week, just be like, is it as good as I remember? It's fantastic. I think there's one slow song that I'm kind of like, yeah, but for the most part, like the whole CD holds up, and like listening to it in the movie was so good. Like It's not necessarily one, again, like I'm going to go back to over and over again, but if gun to my head, I had to watch Romeo and Juliet, this would probably be the version I choose to sit.
Dagger to your head.
Dagger to my head. My apologies. Rapier to my head. This would probably be the one that I would choose to go back to.
Yeah, go ahead.
To push back on the soundtrack, though I like the songs, I think I like them because they're nostalgic for that time. And I didn't find that they quite hit the mark for what was going on screen. Again, I think it was just directorial choices that I just didn't agree with. Not bad ones, just not what I wanted.
Just totally fair. I thought I would have more to say about Baz Luhrmann. I was looking at his filmography. I'm like, oh, I actually haven't seen very many of his movies. It's really just this and Elvis are the only two movies of his that I've actually seen.
Yeah, you should probably check out Moulin Rouge. That's probably his most well-known, as well as like critically acclaimed.
Yeah, I even own it. It's in the other room. Like I have a Baz Luhrmann. My wife has a Baz Luhrmann collection with Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet, and a third one, maybe Australia
Great Gatsby.
or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think she bought the set before Great Gatsby came out, but I could be wrong.
Right.
But
yeah, I don't know. I think he knew what he was doing, and he does have a very specific direction the way he does things, which is very apparent in this movie. And if you see any of his other movies, whether you buy into that, some directors you just don't buy into, which is fine. You know, whatever that guy's clerk's name is, yeah, he's so. And that's just what it is. It doesn't always resonate with you, and that's totally fair.
I just love the idea that some random person is going to watch this who's never watched us before and be like, why did you take the random shot at Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
All right, are you guys ready to rate this thing and disappoint Hillary yet again?
Absolutely.
All right. Where are we? Oh, actually, sorry, 1 second. I don't imagine this is going to make a difference, but let's just see. Yeah,
the biggest loophole is obviously where's their cell phones? These are wealthy families. Come on, just
in '96.
If they're like the wealthiest of people.
Okay, fair enough. In the car, maybe, but not the kids running around the beach.
I had a Nokia flip phone.
Yeah, there's flip phones
around '98. Toward the end of my years in high school, I had a Nokia flip phone. We were rocking pagers in '96, I think.
No, you're not a rich person though. Rich people had flip phones in '96 for sure. For sure. They'd be calling each other.
Yeah,
Romeo and Juliet would
DiCaprio,
be texting. They'd be sexting so hard.
Yeah, Leo was too busy being too cool for cell phones. That's all it was. That's why he didn't have one.
He's too busy smoking instead of
and Juliet was waiting for her arranged marriage. She didn't need a phone. She was a female. They weren't allowed to touch those things.
The Nokia 8110 was released in 1996.
There you go.
It looks like something out of the Matrix. I'm not going to lie. All right, I stand corrected. Well done.
That's the biggest loophole, and they did a FedEx instead, which was weird. But that's okay.
Yeah, the FedEx.
It always bugs me that he drives
just too late.
He drives past the FedEx guy, and the FedEx guy like, huh? Like wave him down or something. Like, also, like, if it's this important, like, why did the priest even leave Juliet? It's in his church. Whatever. Anyways,
well, there's got to be loopholes.
Sure. If you like what we do and you want to help support us, consider joining our Patreon. There's a link down below. Thank you so much to our producers, as well as our executive producers, Real Bubba Hotep and Dino, and of course, our head writers, Elder JM990 and Miss Hillary, who helped make this episode possible. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, kudos to you.
Yeah. Someday, Hillary's going to pick a movie that Brian likes, but this is not that day.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Patreon picks are now becoming hit and miss for me. This one is yet another miss. I was bored for most of it. There were some choices in the film that, though I'm not going to say they were the wrong choice, they were the wrong choice for me. And I just didn't have a lot of fun watching this. And I kind of was just waiting for it to be over with. This movie, for me, gets a 59, which is just barely a passable film that anyone should watch. I think if you are a diehard Romeo and Juliet fan, you should at least check this out to see how it translates to the big screen and modernization. However, if you are not interested in Shakespeare works at all, you can totally skip this one. It will not do you any harm whatsoever to not know what you're missing out on. I will say Mercutio was a great character in this one, as he is always a great character in every version of Romeo and Juliet.
Very nice. All right. I'm coming at this one with a lot of nostalgia, and I'm trying to keep that one out of my review specifically because I want to review this movie based in 2026, not in 1996. Blows me away a little bit that this is a 30-year-old movie, but that's a discussion for another time. I think a lot of the acting in this is great. Unfortunately, I think the main characters are a little bit overshadowed by the side characters, but I don't think that anybody is necessarily doing a poor job in this. I think, again, I'm harping on it, the soundtrack is absolutely incredible. I like some of the stylistic choices that Baz Luhrmann made. Some of them, not necessarily all of them. I think they worked better in 1996 than they do in 2026. Some of the fast cuts, some of the over-the-top scenes, whatnot. The opening, again, is going to be rough for some people and might be a point of just like, let's see what else is on Netflix this week. But overall, I really do enjoy this movie. I enjoyed it more in 96, but I still did like it in 2026. Watching with the watch party was fun, even though you could kind of tell that the temperature in the room was pretty cold. I was maybe one of the only people in the room that was thoroughly getting into this one. I'm giving this one a straight 70. I think it was higher if you'd asked me before the rewatch. It came down a little bit for me, but I still really did enjoy it, and I would be happy to watch this again.
Very nice. Yeah, Dan mentioned this is like a 30-year-old movie. We kept saying that we've modernized Shakespeare. This is now a period piece. So it's interesting in that light. 30 years later, people could stage this as a period piece. And they do that with Shakespeare all the time. You know, you put Richard III in war times or what have you. And yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Again, it's up to your kind of tastes. Now, as a whole, I thought this movie took a lot of big swings, and I think it hit on a lot of things. They leaned into that theatrical aspect of, you know, this is a play on film, and that worked for me, even though it's not my favorite of the Shakespearean tales. So overall, I give this a solid 75. I mean, if you have interest in Shakespeare, check it out. If you're a fan of the actors, check it out. If you're a fan of just directors going big and trying something different, it's worth checking out. Whether you like it or not, you know, that's movies. That's the movies. 75 out of 100.
I'm not gonna lie, I was writing down the scores as we go, and I'd already given myself the green and Brian the red. I assumed you were gonna be somewhere in the middle. I'm like, oh, never mind, gotta switch that up.
Will got the green. I'm a theater scene on the theater scene.
You know what? I wasn't even considering that. Yes, of course I should have thought of the theater kid liking this more.
Yeah. Not bad. Oh, also, I think you mentioned this, Dan, while we were in the watch party. I think it was you, or maybe it was Brian. I can't remember which now. I haven't seen any production of Romeo and Juliet where they're both awake at the same time.
Yes, you're right.
And I thought that was a really good detail. And again, not as easy to do on stage, but on film, you can very much do it. And I thought it brought a lot of intensity into that scene. And I thought that was really, really well done.
Yeah,
it was my first time. I thought that's how it was supposed to go.
No,
so it didn't resonate for me.
And they make it work because no one speaks during that part. Because in all the other, one's dead while the other one's alive.
Yeah.
And so this one, they're both awake seeing it. That does make that sequence way more intense because now both of them realize they fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and they can see it.
It was a cool touch. And you can't do that in theater. You can only do that in movies. So I wish they took more opportunities to do stuff like that in this one. Yeah.
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 All right.
Will, do you happen to have like a favorite Shakespeare piece that you like to watch?
I think it's very dependent on production.
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
I don't mind Richard III. It's an interesting story, but it's a lot of times long in the tooth. Sorry, we can talk about this after.
I was going to say, like, I kind of brought this up. And with that, we see Romeo and Juliet coming in with a 70 from me, a 59 from Brian, a 75 from Will, so 68 overall, putting it at the not quite bottom, but pretty low on our list of Patreon picks. You mentioned that we're getting a few more hits than misses, but I mean, most of them are 70 plus, which isn't terrible.
Sure,
not necessarily from
misses.
you.
I got 2 misses on me. That's it.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, 2 misses and 2 highest scores. Oh no, that's me. That's me.
Three highest scores. I got 3 highest scores.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's all right. I have yet to land in the middle, and I'm okay with that. That's what's great about the Patreon pick. It brings a singular film into my range. A lot of these I had not seen before, or haven't seen in a long time. So City of God, A Fish Called Wanda. Yeah, that's about it. I've seen everything else, but I wouldn't have seen those movies had it not been for the Patreon pick. I wouldn't have circled back around to Romeo and Juliet to definitively say, yeah, I didn't like that. So I'm stoked about the Patreon pick. I'm always looking forward to it. Dan, I think part of the reason that Watch Party was so cold for me was because I was doing it on my phone. My studio was tore apart, and I'd have to switch to chat to type and then switch back to the film. And so I wasn't texting during the movie near as much as I would normally.
Well, and you're normally on screen too, so it was
I like
a
being
different
on
experience
screen.
for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Not bad, old Shakespeare. You keep us coming back to see more.
Yeah.
So you were mentioning the Patreon picks being a really fun way to be circling back to movies you've never seen before, reason to expect. Again, I'm going to say again, the March Movie Madness I'm really excited for. Because we're going to get to choose our own movies to put on this list, so we can actually, you don't have to discuss with anybody else. You can just, whatever movie you decide to do. Honestly, I don't know. I was talking to Brian, and it sounds like he's in the same boat I am, where I'm like, I've got like 10 movies I want to do. And it's like, the fact this is only going to come up once a year.
List.
Yeah, this only being once a year is going to be tough on me. I'm like, I don't know. Do we do like a May Movie Madness and maybe a December movie? Maybe this just becomes what the show is. Who knows?
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the movie that both of you haven't seen. Yeah. I'd like to bring something new to the table for you guys. I'm curious, have either of you seen the movie Whiplash?
Yep.
I haven't
absolutely
actually.
adore it.
Yeah,
you haven't?
I've always wanted to. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've always wanted to. I've heard
but Dan has. Neither of you have seen Primer, so that's still a high pick. How about Nefarious? Have either of you seen Nefarious?
I have not seen that yet, no.
Ooh, Nefarious might be the one I pick then.
Okay.
Primer's so near and dear to my heart, I'm afraid to bring it to you guys.
I feel that.
If you don't love it as much as me, I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep.
There's gonna be a lot of tears in March Madness. Okay?
Yeah.
I have a couple where it's like, do I pick something that I know we're gonna like, but that I just want to gush over for an hour? Or do I pick something that you guys have not seen and maybe like do that where I'm like, man, I love this movie, and Brian will just be like, I watched this because I had to. Or like, I don't know, it's so tough for me. I've got like easily 5 to 10 movies where I'm just like, I could talk about that for an hour, no problem.
Yeah.
Or talk about it with you guys, I guess, for an hour, no problem.
Right.
I mean, some of these aren't even like top 10 movies for me. They're just movies that I want people to see, that I want to share with people. And they're not even like my favorite movies, but they're important movies that I think people should take a look at.
For sure.
And by the way, Will, check out Whiplash, dude. You're gonna love that.
I know I've been missing out on that one. It's just one that was like, whenever it came out, I just missed the boat on it, and I just never got around to it. But I know it's a fantastic movie without even seeing it.
The language is intense. Not just that there is language, but it is intense.
Yes.
But that's kind of the point. It's the only movie where I left being physically exhausted.
Yes,
like I love it.
Yeah.
But
what's his name?
Right,
the lead of that. We've always gushed over him before.
JK.
Yes, JK. Yeah. I think it's one of his best performances, honestly. And it is. It leaves you physically exhausted from that film.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to this film for a second.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We got to get these curtains closed eventually.
All right, that's our rating of Romeo and Juliet. But what's yours? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. We record this live over at twitch.tv/The Monguli Show. So head over there and hit the follow button if you want to see this live and interact with us there. Or if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like and subscribe so that we see you in the next one. All right.
Mrs. Hillary missed it anyway. Darn it.
What?
I know.
Where'd she go?
She left and came back right after we finished it.
She must have had to work or something.
I gave it a 59.
There's the score if she wants it.
Yeah,
Dan gave it a 70.
And I will shooting for the moon on this one, 75.
I mean, I don't know if that's a moon shot, but
well, from where I'm looking at this film, it is. You know what? I like it best when we drastically disagree on films. I really, sometimes I worry
70 and 75 is not a hate. Sorry.
Right.
I interrupted
but 59 to 75, that's a big gap between me and Will. Yeah, and I really thought we were going to be way closer on this one than you, Dan. And so you were the middle person. I sometimes worry that maybe you guys hear my score or my perspective on a film first, and you try to maybe like ease in your different opinion. Stick it to me, guys. Just stick it to me. Let me hear it.
The one time I did that, I got yelled at. I never did it again.
No, go for it. We're all inclusive with our opinions and ideas, and really, it's I watched this movie. That's how I felt about it, and that's okay. There's a reason we get 3 people on here, so we can have 3 different experiences, 3 different points of view.
For sure. There's a couple of movies that I am super curious about because I have. In the past, there have been times where my score has reflected what I think you guys and the audience is anticipating more so than my personal opinion. And I'm trying really hard to not do that and just be like, no, this is exactly what I think. This is how I feel about it. And I'm not trying to be a dink when I say this, but like that's why I gave Jurassic Park 100 because there's no way for what that movie meant to me growing up and what it means to me to this day, and the fact that I still enjoy it. There's no way I couldn't give it a perfect score. And I know both of your opinion. Well, I know Brian's opinion on perfect scores, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it again. Like there are other franchises where I've got
absolutely
movies that mean that much to me. I'm not saying we're going to get into an argument over them, but I'm saying like
X factor that allows you to give it that 100 score, whatever that is. That's fine. That's how you should do it. I want to find a movie for me that is a 100, and I have yet to do that. Even my favorite movies, I can't give perfect scores because I can find flaws in them. But perfection is the enemy of improvement, progress. So, I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
I was trying to think of it for a while now. Actually, I'm trying to get this metaphor right, and tell me if this resonates with you at all. Or if you're just like, what are you talking about? But you mentioned like it can't be perfect because there's always something better. There's always something they could do better. There's always something a little bit wrong with it or whatnot. I know you like physics, so I'm going to go this route with you.
Oh boy,
Brian, how big is the universe?
We don't know.
So we call it
infinite?
Right. Is the universe expanding?
As far as
latest models say yes.
So it's already infinite and it's still getting bigger. And that makes sense to us on some level. So something can be perfect and still have room to get better. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the way I look at it in my brain. Like just because it's 100 doesn't mean that it couldn't be made better with different choices, but that does mean like the choices they made are still beyond good enough for me.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know if that's a perfect analogy.
I didn't say it was. I said I've been working on it. I said I've been working on it.
We are incapable of seeing the boundaries of our universe, so we assume it just goes on, that there is empty space out there. But actually, something like the Big Bang is actually inclusive of the fabric of space itself, the universe that the universe exists in, if that makes any kind of sense. So it's a tough one. I get what you're saying though, and I do understand. There's a thing
to bring it back,
full, but it's getting bigger as it's full. So I understand that.
To bring it back to movies, though, you could also like what you just said about the universe. And shoot, I lost the wording, so it took a little long to get there. You could also presume that Jurassic Park would be better if you had Al Pacino in it, but we'll never see that, so we'll never know that it would be better with Al Pacino in it.
I think Al Pacino would fuck that movie up. But
great. Literally, the first actor came to mind. The first actor came to mind was Sam Jackson. I'm like, shit, he's in
dinosaur.
He's in it, yeah. Oh, that's a constant gaithus. Oh, yeah. Hoo-ah.
Hoo-ah. Clever girl. Hoo-ah.
Oh, must go faster. Must go faster.
Oh shit.
I don't know what the audience is doing, but I'm glad that we're making me laugh.
I could make a lot of skits with Al Pacino taking a role in different movies, man. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, man.
Anyways, I know it's not a perfect analogy, but that's kind of like how my brain works. Is like it can be perfect and have potential room for improvement, but what I was presented to does it for me in every way that I want it to. So that's good enough for Dan.
And when I look at a movie like Jurassic Park, I look at when it was made. Could it have been improved in that time? Not much, you know?
Yeah.
But there were some things that I said, I wish they had done it this way. I wish there was this or that, little things. But like you, Dan, that was one of the most memorable movie experiences of my life. Was seeing that with my father. It was one of the first big screen movies I went and saw, and it really brought dinosaurs to life for me. And from that moment on, I was absolutely a fan of cinema. And being a fan of cinema actually turned me towards theater because of adaptations of movies like Romeo and Juliet to the big screen. And it would make me curious. Well, if there's a movie about it and they pulled it from something, what's the source material? And I started going to plays, and I saw all kinds of different movies that are different plays that I really started to enjoy and really got into theater. And I made friends with thespians in my high school. I never actually got involved in theater myself because I knew I could never be an actor, but I hung out with a lot of them and really enjoyed that lifestyle.
And then here you are creating bits and acting all the time.
Yep.
Well, better late than never, I guess.
I always wanted to be friends with thespians, but then my list went away.
What a joke.
Yeah, I was working on something. It wasn't quite right, but it was fuck it. Sometimes you gotta take the swings.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, Jurassic Park was the first movie, and we're obviously not talking about Jurassic Park tonight, but clearly we are. Jurassic Park was the first movie where I loved it so much that it actually made me want to look into how it was made and what went into making movies, as opposed to just like, that was fun, moving on. So I credit that with a lot of my early love of movies and like getting me to where I am now. So I'm really happy we got a chance to do that one on the show.
Yeah, no, that's legit. It's a legit movie for sure, and it's stood the test of time for a reason.
For the most part, yeah, for sure. There's definitely a little bit of CGI that today looks a little rough, but for the most part, the big scenes still look solid.
Oh, those brachiosauruses, when they come out there and they play that epic music, Dr. Grant comes down to a knee. I mean, my heart was pounding. It was a show-stopping moment right there. And that just lives on in cinema history. Not to mention, objects appear closer in the rearview mirror. All those little iconic moments in there. The flare in the rain, all that stuff, man. They're just, everybody knows that stuff. It was great.
Yeah, for sure. Rumble in the Bronx. Do you know if it's available anywhere, Will? Are you going to be doing a watch party for your movie, or?
I believe you can. It's not on like any streaming service, but I found it somewhere, I think. One moment, please. So everybody can watch it. It is on dailymotion.com, which is kind of like a YouTube type platform. Okay. So the full movie's there. Should be easy enough to watch right from that. I don't know if I'll have time to do a watch party for it, but definitely could.
I'll see if I can't maybe host a watch party for it. I really enjoyed Rumble in the Bronx. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I think it's a fantastic film.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I mean, you already mentioned it was on your flicks that make you tick. So
I mean, I'm not gonna pick a movie for y'all to watch that I hate. I don't think. Maybe I will next time.
If we 2027. If we were doing this a lot more often, like if this was what the show was, like have you?
Please don't make me watch The Room.
Damn it! That's exactly what I was going to say. I've never seen The Room. I've never seen The Room. I've always wanted to, but I want to watch it with a group. I don't want to watch it by myself. I own it. Right. I've owned it for like 2 years now, and I cannot find people to watch it with me.
Yeah,
it's just like I kind of missed the boat on that one because like the whole hype train behind it was like a decade ago at this point. So
I mean, you could find some little theaters that still put on watch parties for The Room every once in a while, and people just go and make fun of the movie altogether. So it's out there. It's out there.
If honestly, there's one theater in my hometown, well, close enough, that does that. Not necessarily with The Room, but like plays older movies. That's where I first saw Citizen Kane. I'm waiting for them to have Lawrence of Arabia. I've heard it. You want to watch that on the biggest screen you can find.
Yeah.
But if they had a Room night, I would be there in a heartbeat. I know they've done what's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know they've done that one a couple of times.
Exactly, yeah.
But I don't know if a Room has the same drawing power
Dan, I might do a Room watch party with you, but we'd need to have cameras on and microphones on.
Oh,
I'd
have
to be able to talk over the movie from time to time because it sounds so terrible that I think I would need some little like Mystery Science Theater 3000 kind of stuff going on.
Classic.
That's actually what I thought the watch parties were going to be when we first said we were going to do them, and then everybody was like, "Absolutely not! No voices." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah." Right. If I'm watching a movie to critique it and review it and everything, I need to be able to hear it. I need to be able to mute people when I want to. Fun. But to watch The Room, this is almost punishment for me. So I'm okay with missing out on whatever for a good.
We'll get a subathon going.
Friends.
Force Brian to watch it. 2 hours of pain.
Yeah, there we go. Speaking of 2 hours of pain, we're coming up on the 2 hour mark, and I got to pee so bad. Well, 2 hours for me, Dan. 2 hours for me.
Yeah, fair. Well, even about an hour and a half, I think, for me, somewhere in that range. Anyways,
yeah, you're 120 on Restream, and I'm coming up on the 2 hour mark, and I gotta pee, and I see my son still up. You're supposed to be in bed.
All right, go be a parent, sir. We'll see you next week for Rumble in the Bronx. Have a good day, Brian.
Do you mind if I raid you, or are you going to be going too?
I'm going to be heading out soon.
Okay.
Or anything?
No, I'm out too.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Sorry for the late start and obviously the later evening, but it was fun talking about this one with you. We'll be back next week. Doesn't necessarily... Well, Brian, so you are or not going to try and do a Rumble in the Bronx watch party?
I'm going to... well, if Will doesn't, I'll see if I can't put it on. No guarantees. We'll see. I got to watch the movie at some point, so... We'll have to try something.
I'll send you the link to the movie. So you
and if you're watching on my stream, I'm sending you guys to the Without Context show. So
nice.
I have no context to go on this one. So I hope you guys have fun. Bye, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me on for another fantastic movie review. And bye, everybody in chat. See you hopefully sooner than usual.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Dan.
Have a good night, everybody.